Definitely is. You have huge expectations for yourself as a team, and obviously, individually, um, to contribute and you know be a part of something really big. And that series just sucked. And obviously, the last game for me was horrible. So it's hard to process, but you're a man. You take it on. You take it in stride. Um, Learn how to get better from it, and look forward to the summer to get better. How we can be better. How I can be better. And yeah, that's it. But it is hard to process. So.
When you look at your game, obviously foul trouble, missed shots, all that played into it. What do you feel like just snowballed for you last night?
Yeah, it was kind of like I had a suicide vest on last night. Like excuse the reference, but like it's like I could do no right almost. Like I couldn't find the game in a way. And there's no excuse for that, but it's just kind of the reality of what happened, what transpired throughout the game. Being in foul trouble early sucks. And obviously, you're trying to catch up to the game, catch the rhythm, and you can't find it, and you start pressing a little bit.
How challenging was it for you this year?
I didn't know I was done.
Going over from two guard to point guard. How challenging?
Oh man. Uh, I mean, it was challenging, but it wasn't. I mean, it was something I was willing to do. I mean, it was what the team needed. It wasn't the most ideal thing, but it was what the team needed, and I was comfortable with it. I don't think it's tough in today's society. Like it's not really. Everybody keeps saying a true point guard. There's not really many true point guards that play in today's game. Like it's a lot of combo guards and a lot of scoring guards. And it's about initiating our offense, and we just could have all been better in that fashion. I could have been better, just pushing the pace and taking care of the ball a lot better than what I did. But I was comfortable with it, man. Like I'm able to handle the ball. I'm able to handle pressure, and it was just some dumb passes and silly mistakes and just unfathomable, whatever that word is, unfathomable passes and just thinking out there. But I mean, we were all booked same thing. Like we were all just comfortable handling the ball, you know, point guard or not point guard label. We didn't really care about that.
Brad, when you look at when you look at when you came off the court, out of the optics with you and Bogle, it looks a certain way when you ran past him, and it looked like your hand went one way because it's being viewed as, sort of brushing off. Because Coach had his hand out. Have you seen this clip?
I didn't see it.
Okay, because you was coming off the court.
Yeah, I slapped him hard.
Right. And
Oh, I was frustrated with fouls, and I knew I was coming out. It wasn't nothing against Coach. Damn, I'm sorry if that probably did look bad, but no, it wasn't. I was more frustrated with myself and being in foul trouble. Like I knew I was coming out the game. Like he was doing his job. He was being smart, saving me. Like it wasn't nothing towards Coach. No, there's nothing there.
Right. It seemed like that you guys were kind of chasing expectations all season. How would you just describe the regular season and getting to this point, just with the highs and lows?
I mean, in retrospect, when we won 49 games, it's a lot of games. And I missed 30 games, almost roughly 30 games.
something like 53, 52, something like that.
Like that's a lot of games. Like we're a 51 team. Not saying we'd won every game if I'd have played, but we'll be in a totally different position if I'm healthy the whole year, if everybody's healthy the whole year. But nonetheless, I think, obviously you have the highs and lows of the season. Everybody has them, but I think there's also some games that we wish we would have had back. Some games that we know we could have won and probably should have won that may have cost us in the end. But I mean, the chips fall where they do. I think we still had a good regular season. I think it was still successful. Still had a winning season, winning record, and that's something that we can build on for sure. But there's still room for improvement, 100%.
Do you look at the season as a whole as you look at the season as a whole, injuries aside, can you pinpoint maybe why this team wasn't able to get over the hump?
Oh, man, it's tough. I mean, it's not just one thing. I mean, we kind of had a lot of bad hands dealt, but I mean, that's every team in the NBA. You know, we lost Grayson game 3 and 4. You know, like that stinks. You know, so it's like we've been dealt some bad hands throughout the year, but that's every team. You know, we can't just chuck it up to just one specific area. Like our defensive effort and like abilities on that end could have been better. Like I mean, it's not just one thing. That's what's tough. You know. But at the end of the day, the talent's there. I think the willpower is there, and it just didn't fall in our favor.
Bradley, what Book said last night that he gave a whole shopping list of details that he thinks needed to get better, but one of the primary things he said was communication needs to get better, and he named you, him, Durant, and the coach. What do you think needs to be done better among your group to communicate better?
I mean that's kind of a simple thing in retrospect. Like just talk more, just being more vocal about what you like, don't like, being more opinionated about stuff. I'm not sure exactly what he's referencing because I mean it's a lot of like we don't communicate well on defense, so that can be a part of communication. In terms of coach, I think it's more or less kind of just like how we're playing, just the flow of the game, putting him and Kay specifically in positions to score and succeed, and I think just talking it out. I think I don't really know what he's referenced. I can't really speak for Book, but and just kind of just thinking of a comment.
Did you feel the communication was good?
I think it was good. Obviously, it could be better. I think it could have been better for sure. But everything could have been better. That's just me as a person. That's me in my mindset of things. Like everything could be better. Nothing's perfect. So.
I mean, it's obvious it was a disappointing end of the season. You're owning up to it. But do you feel like you kind of said that you guys could build on something here? Like if you get another run at this and you stay healthy and you guys gonna get more games together as far as the big three and so on? Yeah,
100%. You still gotta. We didn't look at this thing as a 1-year thing, and we're gonna come in and just we only got this year to figure it out. Like we got time. You don't want to use that as like a cop out, but and just the reality we live in, like that's the game plan. We have a window. Yeah, it's a short window, but we have a window. So we want to maximize it as much as possible, and obviously we still have a lot of room to grow. We all have to be better. I got to be better, and we all have to be better as an organization and move towards that goal of winning a title, which isn't easy. We're not going to sit here and say it's easy. Like, when everything happened this summer and moves were made, like everybody had that. Oh, this is it, but you still got to work out the kinks. You still got to make sure it fits well and everybody's on the same page and we're working towards that same goal. And I think everybody has that mindset. It just didn't fall.
Right, to everyone's questions.
Excuse me?
To build off that, do you believe Frank should be back next year?
I think Frank's a good coach. I think Frank's a great coach. I think he's a proven, obviously, winner. He has a ring behind him. That's not really a question I like answering because I'm not responsible for coaches having jobs, being hired or being fired or whatever. I love the staff that we had. For me, this was like an open book for me because it was new. Frank's new, the staff was new, so I was going into everything with just an open mindset, just welcoming everything and learning kind of everybody along the fly. And Frank's an awesome guy, and he's a great coach. So whether what that looks like is not up to me. I don't know really what you want me to say. I know you're really baiting me into a question I don't like.
Brad, to your point on the point guard questions and all these questions that come, it's less about the position itself and more about the three of you beginning and initiating possessions and improving on that process, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's just developing like what kind of offense we want to have and just the flow of that. And it's tough to do when everybody's not healthy. We're figuring out lineups. You make a trade and you gotta get those guys acclimated into what we do. And you're doing that all on the fly of a year while trying to make up games and win games. And make up for mistakes that we made earlier in the season. But for sure, like that's the modern day NBA. Like it's a free flowing offense. Hell, Jokic brings the ball up. You see Nurk bring the ball up. Like, I mean, everybody has the abilities. It's all about pressure release, initiating your offense as fast as you can. And, it's just something we got to build on.
When I mention or say the best offense to utilize you three, like what comes to mind in terms of like the key attributes for the offense next year?
It's tough, man. We're really dynamic in a lot of things, and I think we're best when we're free flowing and just a lot of space on the floor, playing high pick and rolls, forcing teams. When we force teams to collapse and the ball's popping, we're generating those extra passes to swing threes. Like that's when we look really good, So we have those spurts, and obviously. KD in the post, books ISOs, like those are dominant things. But I think our spacing and stuff could have been better at times, and that's just in growth. But we have a lot of things offensively and a lot of weapons that we can utilize and build on. I think it's our defensive mindset and our presence that needs to be the biggest focus.
Thanks, Brad.
Thank you, Brad. Appreciate you, Brad.
Most definitely. Thank you, guys.
Grayson will be over shortly.
Answer that question. Yeah, that was kind of interesting. There's part of me that's like, what do I make of that?
Don't ask him shit. Stop that. Not you. Like Pepper said, not you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make Hey, Grayson.
What's up? Grayson, I'm not even going to ask how the ankle is because clearly you couldn't play, so that's pretty obvious. But maybe the frustration of that, not playing that when the games really matter.
Yeah, I mean, it's really frustrating, especially with something like that just is all about the luck or circumstance of stepping on someone's foot. And especially feeling like game one when it happened, I got kind of lucky because I felt pretty good, like good enough to play in game two. But for it to happen twice and a little bit worse second time, it just sucks that it happened then at such an important time.
Coach was saying yesterday that whenever you tried to work on it, it just felt worse like the day after. Have you ever had an ankle injury where when you were trying to work through it that the progress seemed to be going backwards maybe instead of forward?
Yeah, but we were also, just because of where we were in the playoffs, it's easy in hindsight to say, oh, it flared up, like you should have gave it 4 days and then tried for game 4 or whatever, but we felt like, and we kind of decided that it was worth it to try, so I ramped it up pretty much every other day to try to play in game 3, gave it a break, tried to ramp it up to play in game 4, and both times it just wasn't good enough, and then responded the next day or even later in the afternoon with some more swelling, and a good amount of more pain. So, I mean, it's knowing looking back, like it probably would have been smart to not try each time, but I still, like in the moments, thought it was worth it.
How frustrating was it to see your guys battle, knowing you could help if you were on the court, but not being able to be out there?
Yeah, I mean, very, very frustrating. I kind of built up the whole season to play in those games.
Grayson, you had mentioned a few weeks ago that you felt like you guys had like 10 or 15 games this season where you felt, oh man, we should have had that one.
Yeah.
When you look at the season in totality, what do you feel like prevented you guys from sustaining that level of play you showed at your peak?
I think some of the games early in the year, growing pains from a new group. Some of the games are, having some unfortunate injuries early in the season to some of our guys. And then some of the stuff later in the year, just with team turnovers as a group, everybody not closing games down the stretch, giving up fourth quarter leads. There's a lot of games that I know we all feel like we should have won during the season, so it's a bunch of different things.
Are you able to draw any positives from, personally how you fit with Kevin, Brad, and Devin out there?
Yeah, I mean, I think for myself personally, like I've fit really well with this group, and I've played my best basketball of my career this season, so I'm definitely excited about, it's really early to start looking towards next year, but I'm excited to continue to play with this group and continue to get better as a group.
There's so much talk about whether or not to add a traditional point guard. How do you feel like that would be?
I don't know. I know the guys that we have with Book, Brad, and KD, we want the ball in their hands. Those three are going to be out there for the majority of the game. We want the ball in their hands. We want them being scorers. Adding a point guard, I don't know if that helps or just takes the ball out of their hands more. So I believe in the group that we had this year. I think we had enough. We just didn't quite put it all together.
Through the ups and downs of the seasons, what do you think you learned the most about yourself playing with the Suns this year?
I mean, it was another year of good improvement for me on the court, doing some different things, being better in a lot of different areas. So some good takeaways of continuing to build and improve individually.
When you look at this group, a lot of the roster is pretty much intact heading into next season. I know it's hard to diagnose right now, but when you look at next year, what do you feel like you guys need to be better in regard? The book mentioned the details, communication, things like that. Is there anything that stands out to you?
Yeah, all those things: details, communication, execution, little things. Like I said, I like the group that we have. I feel like we have enough. We had enough. So just got to come back and be better, and hopefully the continuity helps.
Grayson, do you think it was harder for everything to mesh than you guys might have thought, just looking at the talent?
I mean, maybe. I think injuries really shortened the time frame that we had to be the group that we wanted to be. You kind of have, when you look at the season, you have like these benchmarks of where you should be by Christmas, All-Star, going into the end of the season, and I felt like when we were starting the season off in preseason, like we saw things that were like, all right, if we really work on this, like this could be really good for our group, and then we go really the first half of the season without having our full five out there. And then you get into a point where you're later in the season. Now everything is kind of, everything needs to be expedited. Like you have to be better, quicker. You don't have the time to go through those growing pains without it really hurting because you're playing in games that you need wins. You don't have time to figure things out. So I think that hurt us, which is why one of the positives I'm looking forward to next season is now that we have a year under our belt with this group playing together and figuring things out, failing together, knowing what works and what doesn't work. I feel like that'll put us in a good spot for next year. Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
that is going to be it today. That's it. Yeah. And then we'll do. That's it today. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. And then we'll do. So that was wanting to do availability, but he only had availability to do it on Wednesday and wanted to do it at the same time with James. So it was more so just a pushback so they're on the same day. So nothing too wild on that one. So initially, I think the Matt was the last minute decision to do it.
Got it.
So I think those two just want to be able to do it together around the same time.
That's it.
Look, you already got on the plane?
Let's go set up down tonight.
You already got on the plane?
But it'll be real quick. Let me just put some thought together and I'll take that.